Hello, welcome to Leicester Vintage Toy Shop. We're doing top 5 Masters of the Universe.
Let's go get them, people.
Now you can imagine all the power in the universe. The Masters of the Universe collection. 23 pieces, each sold separately. There's He-Man and these heroic action figures. Skeletor and the Warriors of Evil, and 4 fighting creatures. Castle Grayskull, Point Dread, and the Talonfighter. You put them together. And battle machines like the Attack Track, batteries not included. What would you do with all the power in the universe?
Yeah, Master of the Universe, He-Man. A toy line which, as a kid, I'll be honest with you, didn't like it.
Fight or I'll turn you into a suitcase.
He-Man was one of my main things.
No, I didn't have a telly, so I had no reference
Really
point.
playable, chunky figures.
Yeah, but I had Star Wars figures and nothing, because I was doing all that, I was a bit geeky and was doing like battle scenes and, you know, and I'd never seen it, but we set all our figures up and then we'd knock them off with elastic bands. And He-Man figures, they just didn't fit in.
Oh no, I loved them. They were so different. They were like, well, they all had the same arms and everything, but
Not
you
all
know,
of them.
such great characters though, weird characters.
But is He-Man ready for their king? Hiss, when his skin comes off, his evil comes out.
That's why I liked it.
But Action Force and stuff like that was my kind of like Action Force,
Oh, no,
3 3/4 inch.
No, too
what I was
military that'd be for me.
Yeah, but I loved all that stuff. Mind you, I wasn't allowed any of the guns, because I wouldn't cut them all off.
So they're all really good at fighting.
Yeah, like fist fights with straight arms. But my friend James had loads and loads of Masters of the Universe, and that's kind of where I first and I remember seeing certain figures and going, oh, his face is really cool. I'm playing about with them a bit. But now, I absolutely love him.
He may be huge, but he's still a little baby at heart.
The artwork, there's just
the
so
artwork.
many things that you kind of go, and those cards, that emblem, everything about it.
I
is
think
just,
Masters actually had some of the best artwork of all the toy lines.
Yeah. The Grayskull art box,
Yeah.
and, you know, things like that.
So even down to the late vehicles, the strange late on vehicles. Really cool looking artwork.
Beautiful toys, and the vehicles were really cool as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if a bit obscure.
Here comes Point Dread and the Talonfighter, including adventure book and story record with sound effects, action figure.
And a bit clunky at times.
Yeah.
But, you know, they were still cool, and they always, that artwork on the box drew you in every time.
That's it.
So that's Masters, that's how I feel about them. What's our top 5, you say? Here it comes, in
get
at
on with
5.
In at 5, I'm going to start off
Ding, 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 ding,
with,
ding, ding.
it's a bit of a strange choice, but the Sorceress.
Yeah.
She didn't come along till way later on in the line, did she?
No.
Like, He-Man was sort of done. No one really cared by this point. But you could never get a Sorceress. And, you know, it means you could never take your He-Man up to get his instructions. That's how I play with my
I have no
toys.
reference for this, by the way. I've never seen it.
Is that meant to click in? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there we go. I was like,
And it still does.
Still does. That's not bad, apart from I can't get back out.
No.
What do you do?
I can't remember.
Bunglers!
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
But yeah, Sorcerer, she's her own figure. She's got Teela's legs. No, bit different, aren't they?
No,
Very similar.
They're very, very similar, yeah. I think she's just a... I mean, like, for me as well, because I never knew who she was, and like, you kind of...
No, she'd be boring.
And she always has those legs that sort of...
Yeah.
I find her a bit annoying as a figure.
She will never stand apart from there. There we go.
Unbelievable.
It's a miracle.
But I find her quite an annoying figure, I'll be honest with you. But I really like having her in because it's just nice to see one.
But
You don't see 'em.
she's welcoming you with open arms.
She is.
But there's mine. Anyway, she's great. I like her. She's not a particularly good figure, but it's just because it's the Sorceress. And she was, you know,
So there's a different
a
meaning to you.
major character.
That's through the cartoon, isn't it? My appreciation comes straight through just the
through the
figures,
toys,
you see.
yeah.
So,
Who you got there?
My number 5 is Roboto.
Oh.
I like saying Roboto, and I like saying a lot of things in a Welsh accent. So Roboto. But he's great. I love Roboto. He's brilliant. I've got a loose one here as well.
Oh, he is good.
And they are just, I mean, the fact that, and you know what I like about him, I think because he's so, all the cogs and stuff inside
They made
him.
a lot of effort with this figure.
And when
because this, as you wouldn't know this, in the actual cartoon, he looks rubbish. The figure is amazing compared to how he looked in the cartoon.
This unstoppable enemy of evil.
Go get him, Roboto!
Roboto.
So basic. Didn't have all these, you know,
Yeah.
all these little bits. His head didn't look as
Well,
cool.
it's that
Looked
Japanese
goofy.
influence with
Yeah.
the cogs and everything, and the robot
That's it.
influence from the
Yes,
60s.
of course.
There's a lot to love, and the fact he's got this whole system inside him, and then His little visor
Yeah.
opens.
And all his arm detail.
Is that how he eats his dinner? Really bad with his elbows at the dinner table. And then he's got all these different things. So you could...
Does he have knife and fork?
Yeah. You've got... Well, better than that. You've got pinchers.
Oh.
If you want to cheekily pinch someone.
Yes.
Just pinch him on the bum. He's a bit of a cheeky so-and-so. And then you've got this for slicing ham. And then this one, which is... it's for getting some of the fluid off cows. I don't know. I
know where you were going with that.
I assume it's a blaster.
I tell you
of
what, it
some
looks a
sort.
bit like the Secret Wars weapons, doesn't it? His laser gun.
It does. I tell you what, he needs a bit of heat before. But he's a really nice example as
Yeah.
well. He's lovely.
And I think, has he got his own legs, or is he the same as Manny Face is?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know. We'll find that out, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's but he's just a very cool figure, and I like him very much. So I like him because he's got lots of influences, and because he has a cool action. And I've never seen the cartoon, so I just judge it on the figure. And it's a robot, basically.
Yeah, it's great.
It's called Roboto.
The most powerful robot in the universe. Roboto.
If you look at the whole range, there's so many figures that you kind of go, oh, but he's so cool.
It was very difficult to
Yeah.
come up with five.
We-
We say this a lot, but
We've changed this an awful lot.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say more than any other.
yeah.
We've changed this. And even just before we were filming this, deciding our top 5, we then had to have a jig around. So, just because Gav needed the toilet to go. So, yeah, that's my number 5. What's your number 4, Gav?
Number 4, Hordak. Wasn't actually a He-Man villain, was he?
You can't even handle that muscle-bound female She-Ra.
Just a minute. What about the way He-Man handles you, Bone Brain?
Bone Brain? Why, you miserable excuse for a villain.
But they brought him in with the He-Man line because, look at him, he's a chunky bad guy.
He's a great, great figure.
And fantastic face.
There's loads of variations as well on the paint. Like
Yeah.
This is like one of the more creamy
Yellowy
ones.
ones.
Somebody were going, yeah, some Malaysian or all that. So.
Yeah, something
But
like
there's
that.
all sorts, and there's a bright white as
Yeah,
well.
it is Malaysian. It says it on the grading label.
Oh, there we go.
I chose this one just because it displays really nicely.
It's beautiful. They've done a very good job on the
They have
grading.
done a really good job. But yeah, it had his never really understood his red weapon thing. It's like a bird bat.
on his arm.
But look at it, it's a strap-on bat.
Tell you what, if you turn up at a party wearing that,
Oh,
you're going to be the
yes.
talk of the party.
And your cape.
I am here.
And your red
Yeah,
cape.
red cape, bird on your arm.
Silence, you furry fool.
I once played a gig and we had a bird strapped to our arms with black gaffer tape.
If only you had capes
We
as well,
bought
though.
them from the fishing shop. I think Shep did have a cape.
Oh, there
We
we
bought them from
go.
the fishing shop. 'Cause there was a massive heron on the stage. Not a real one.
But yeah,
Anyway.
this is original Hordak. What the other? There's two more, isn't there?
Hurricane Hordak,
Hurricane Hordak.
and Buzzsaw Hordak.
Also, Hurricane Hordak's the one with all the bits on his arm.
Yeah.
I like. He's a good one as well.
Oh,
But
I like
classic
Buzzsaw with
Hordak.
it opening up.
Oh, he's weird. I always thought he was just a broken Hordak.
Yeah, I know. And
That's
it
what
was
he looks like.
one of those ones that years ago when I first started out doing this, it was one of them ones you just went, oh, he's rubbish.
And he's actually
You put him in the
quite
£2
expensive
box.
now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
And they always had this clippy weapon.
Oh,
But it was good. Good little action feature.
Loads of them
Yeah.
had the bow.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
liked it. It was new because they all had the swords and stuff. But then Evil Horde came out. Boom.
Bows.
The little springy bows. So he's my number 4. Who you got?
Right, I'm up next. Number 4. Age-old. Should have dusted these.
Oh, as always.
Beastman. Look at him. Why do I love Beastman, Gav?
Because he's rubbish.
You overgrown fur coat, you let him get away.
Like the face got a ruff.
Fluffy
Because the
ruff.
rest of him is naked. He's going to need that
Yeah.
around his neck. Unlike on the video where we spoke about the Star Wars figures without the, the snood. He's got his
the
own
snood.
sort of
Oh, yeah.
snood going on.
He's ready made.
So, no, but I love Beastman. One, he's orange, which is always a good thing. Anything that says that somebody's in good health, it's orange. And
With blue cheeks.
yeah, and he's a bit of a ledge, isn't he?
He is a beast man. You can't,
So yeah,
I mean, you would argue with him because he was useless.
You furry, flea-bitten fool, I'll cover my throne with your hide.
blue pants. I'm bright orange. Let's go with blue.
He's accessorising with jewel on his red thing.
Yeah, he's just. But look at those fangs, man. He's all fangy and angry.
And he had his spiky arm things as well.
Yeah, and this is the one I mostly remember from my mate in his dad's console, his Ford console, and he sat there playing about with it, and he put it into neutral. It was an automatic, and he put it into neutral. He rolled down a hill in Derbyshire, which is like sort of you're doing 100 mile an hour, but even about 4 yards, And it was Beastman that he was playing with at the time.
That was an unusual story.
And everyone died. No, we didn't. We were all fine. And we got better. Which was nice. But it was very scary. I remember, and he was Beastman, so he's always had a special place in my heart of, like, yeah, he's just a cool thing. And because I remember him more than any other, I think, when I was a kid. Because he's got that memory burnt into him and Buzz Off, by the way. They were together during this escapade in the console. But yeah,
during the danger zone.
Yeah, the danger zone in a maroon Ford console. But there we go. It was nice. 3-litre V6, silky. Might be a straight V6. Let's go with that. Anyway, we digress. Once again, I'm going off. I'm just telling stories.
You pathetic pair of pitiful pinheads.
But they do bring back so many memories, and I love them. And he's a real tinker to find with his arm things still attached.
That's true, actually, because they didn't attach well even back then.
I always remember thinking, why has he got arm pads on? Because I was thinking, he hasn't got a skateboard. And
like elbow pads.
Yeah, elbow pads. Like when he's doing them sweet turns, man.
I can see it happening. That's a painting waiting to happen.
Yeah,
that is.
Beastman on a skateboard. Yeah. Let's do it. If somebody wants to do Beastman on a skateboard, I'll probably buy it. Yeah, love him. So there we go. The Ford console rolling down the hill in the background. Ace. So yeah, Beastman's my number 4.
Cool.
Love him.
Come on, Battle Cat. An Eternian snail can move faster than this.
Right then, my number 3 is Jitsu.
Yeah! Back off, He-Man! No way! Then face the mighty power chop of Jitsu! Yeah!
There was Fisto, which, you know, Fisto, with his punching action. But Jitsu, it was just much cooler with his big gold hand, his chopping action. Look at that. Or waving, if you...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact he's a bit calf-licked. He's got that sort of... Did anybody else say that, calf-licked?
Calf-licked? I've not heard that expression.
When you got that hairline like mine.
Oh, like a cow lick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Calf lick, is it just because it's less hair?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, a bit calf.
He's a bit receding as well, isn't he?
He is, but
he's an
still
old
rocking
man,
it.
but he's, you know...
He's not thought, I'm going to shave that for my own confidence and look hard. He's just going to go,
yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna stick with it and just...
It's why he grew a beard. Compensate.
Maybe one day they'll all meet up and make friends.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, bud.
No, but Jitsu's cool. There's a lot of play value, because, you know, look at that.
Gotcha this time, He-Man!
You can knock all your other figures down.
Yeah.
His sword's a bit rubbish.
Oh, I like it.
A bit basic.
Yeah, but, you know...
You know, when He-Man's swords were all, like, curvy and beautiful.
Yeah.
And you got that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all right. It's got that sort of samurai look to it.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. And it is bright orange.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Bright
nice
orange
armour
cool.
as well, which, again, they reused on someone else.
Yeah, they did.
Many different ones. And yeah, he's just great.
But He-Man part spin must have been like the same but painted.
Yeah.
You know,
all the legs, lots of the legs were the same.
All of these in the same but different coloured rubber.
Yes.
Just what everybody needs, a magical island holiday.
So yeah, he's a cool 3, but he's not as cool as my number 3.
Go on then, what you got?
My number 3 is...
Leech.
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 Why is it my number 3? This is a beautiful graded example, an 85 grade AFA. I just love Leech because, as well as that, you could play with him in the bath.
Why are you dripping water on my floor?
Yeah, you could suck him to the car window.
Yeah, everything. In fact, that console probably had that stuck to the window at some point. But he's just a really cool figure, and he's really chunky as well. And for years, because obviously being a toy dealer, I underappreciated him a bit.
No one likes Leech.
No, but I underappreciated him because I just there was so many. There were loads of them. He's drowning leeches. But now...
We didn't have a loose leech.
No, we didn't have a loose leech.
For this video.
They're starting to really sell. Because we've sold out of loose leeches, people, which is never been possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never been possible. You could be literally not buying leeches for about 2 years and you'd still have leeches.
Leech.
Yeah. But I love Leech because of that playability value, because he was a bit underwhelming for quite a while, and now people have caught on, and I've sort of fell in love with him because of that. I don't know, he's a very cool character. One of the Horde as well, and this one's a perler.
Yeah, the clear bubble that is.
Yeah, we had a loose one that sold straight away. Loose graded one.
Yeah.
Sold straight away. So it's madness. But really, really nice figure. Really, really nice figure. Love me some Leech. That's my number 3. Where we at? Number 3?
Yeah.
Who's number 3? There we go.
It's the sorceress, you boob.
Number 2.
What are you on, Gav?
Well, You can smell him coming.
Oh, no.
It's Stinkor. Let's get rid of his stand. Look at him. And he has still got a little bit of that smell.
Ew! The evil smell of Stinkor will overpower He-Man. We'll trap that skunk.
You always know when you've got a Stinkor in your collection. Someone brings a bag full of figures in, you can always smell it.
Yeah.
Stinkor with his foul, skunky... It's basically Merman painted different.
I love Stinkor.
Oh,
I think he's
he's
a really cool
brilliant.
figure. Yeah, I think he's a really, really cool figure.
But obviously with Stinkor, just honourable mention, Mossman.
Mossman is green, so I can't be seen.
Who was green flocked Beastman.
Yeah. But
he smelt of pine fresh.
yeah, sort of weird.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anything in this shop smells pine fresh anymore.
No.
I think it's all over the years it's gone. But Stinkor is cool.
But no weapon, but his smell, his stench was his weapon.
But that-
Had his little shield.
His
Don't know
little
why.
shield.
What was that? What good was that to him?
I've no idea.
Batting people
I
off.
don't know what he's... Yeah, batting people
Perhaps,
off.
people smelled him, just go in, knock him
Maybe
out.
like a skunk. Or that his pheromones attract other Stinkors.
Ah, so he did.
And it was to bat 'em
beat
off.
off the other
Yeah,
Stinkors.
yeah. Come on, leave me alone. I've got a life to lead, you know. I'm collecting stamps at the moment.
But look at his eyes, his face. He's quite evil looking.
Yeah, he's a really cool figure. And who would have thought red and orange together?
Yeah,
But it somehow works.
yeah, it does. There's two colours you never mix.
No, you never mix that.
Unless you Stinkor.
Unless you Stinkor.
And then blue. Popper blue.
Yeah. Popper Blue.
Popper blue.
Blue.
Must see Popper blue.
It sounds like a really dodgy bloke in the pub.
Yeah.
Popper Blue is
Remember Popper blue?
sort of spreading very bad material you shouldn't read. Popper Blue. Come and see Popper Blue.
Well, there we go, anyway. My hands are starting to smell now, so I'm going to put him down.
Smell your own state, Stinkor! Yarr!
My number 2 is this guy, the Horde Trooper. Now, again, I came to this late. The Horde Troopers were just a very, very cool figure. I don't remember him when I was a kid. He was just one of them figures, and I remember the first time I got him, I thought, what is he?
It was late on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never had
thought,
this
what
guy.
is he? Because I hadn't seen it, and he doesn't look like a He-Man figure.
No, he doesn't really.
He looks almost like Disney. You look at his eyes.
Yeah.
He's got that
Oh, he does.
black hole look about
Yeah.
him. So because he's a bit offbeat and I didn't know what he was, I just put him with all my other cool figures. I just thought, this guy's really cool.
Horde Trooper, the mindless robotic enforcer. He's cracking up.
So he went with my, my Vincent and my different figures that I got.
He is a
which
cool
I've never
figure.
seen Black Hole, by the way.
No.
But I like the figures from it. And he sat with them and looked amazing. And then only later on did I realise who he was and what he was from. And then I realised he was worth quite a bit of money, so I sold him. And that was back in the early 2000s when I had this guy.
And he did actually look quite like the cartoon one, because the late on ones, they actually made them look a bit more like they should.
Yeah.
Shadow Weaver said the target was here somewhere.
Horde Trooper, definitely my number 2. We are going to do our worst figures.
Yes. Before we do the number ones, we've got to get the worst ones out of the way.
Because equally with Master of the Universe, with the brilliant figures that there are, and there are so many that I'll forgot and kind of going, oh yeah, of course, why don't they include him?
Like Matt mentioned, Mechaneck.
Yikes!
Like,
Oh,
Mechaneck. Yeah.
But there's so many. But then there are equally some absolute dreadful figures. But at the same time, like a lot of these things, I'm still quite fond of them.
Mine is a controversial choice.
I know it is.
for
I know what
worst
you've
figure.
chosen.
Yeah.
And I fear your choice will get you in hot water.
I think it will. But
So-
here we go. I'm going to say it.
Life is certainly never dull with Orco around.
For the worst figure, Orco. Look at him.
I disagree entirely with this.
This
And if we were friends on Facebook, I would have
You're
unfriended you.
unfriended. There is nothing to. This is not. I mean, he does have an action. I've got a loose one
does.
over here. And as I'm holding him, I'm kind of wishing I hadn't chosen. But here we go. He runs about. Matt can't keep hold of him. But there we go.
I mean, there's not many toys from that era that would have kept going for this long either. You know?
No, that.
You never really get a broken Orco.
No. But, just to try and desperately back up my worst choice.
I think he's... What makes you... I think he's great.
I don't know. I'm like, now holding him, I'm like, I shouldn't have really chosen Orco.
But this is what He-Man
Yeah.
figures do to you.
Like, but you look at him next to all the others, and he's like, oh, Orco, rubbish.
No,
But
I disagree.
He's actually
entirely.
quite cute.
Again,
So I've ruined this now.
You metal-munching moron.
You have
ruined
it. But this is what they do to you. This is my point. Master of the Universe figures. You can get a rubbish one out. I mean, I'm thinking like Sauron, like gold plastic, breaky,
and he
he's rubbish.
He had a magic trick as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I really fell in love with Orco during this video.
During this video, it does change it.
Yeah.
But the point is with Sauron, I could have picked Sauron as one of my worst, but I didn't because you pick him up and kind of go, oh, he's just so cool.
That's the problem.
And then I'm
with
thinking, like, would he make my top 5? And you start thinking,
I know.
oh, this has gone from the worst to one of the best. And you're like, well, I don't know anymore.
But yeah. So, Orco, my worst choice, but he's actually really cool.
Prince Adam and Orco with coin trick, new from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately.
Right. So all these figures I love, but they're also rubbish, just as I said about Sauron. So I'll start with Blast Attack. I mean, to look at, he's fine. But the fact is, he's a bit unpolitically correct in many ways because of his backstory. And he blows himself up. So that's not very nice. But he's gold plastic. So he breaks all the time.
The gold plastic.
And his weapon breaks all the time.
What's his weapon?
That thing always is broken. So, I just don't get it.
What's the point of him? Is he just blow up?
Can He-Man survive the doors of doom?
No problem.
The problem is he might be drained by mosquito, tangled by squeeze, blown away by blast attack.
That was his thing.
He just blows apart.
So he's like a suicide bomber.
Yeah. Which is not a nice
no,
toy.
it's not.
It's really not. But yeah.
But he was a robot, so he just come back together again. Is that the story?
Was he a robot?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, again, late on, I didn't really care by this point.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know. I just think he's rubbish. But at the same time, if anybody wants to argue with me, I'd be quite happy to kind of go allude to that because he's a He-Man figure and everybody will see something.
His face isn't very good either, to be fair.
No, and the bright green bits.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, isn't he? So I'm not keen. But really, my real hatred lies in these guys.
People love him.
In Rotars and Twistoids.
I think it's his rarity that people love.
Yeah, and he's a hard thing to get. But again, it's got the breaky weapon. You've got all the cogs. And you've got the fact that as a toy, what do you do with him? They don't stand up.
No.
I mean, like, you can put them like that, and they're such a heavy figure. They don't stand up even with the little stand. Yeah. They're just a bit rubbish. Yes,
and that's a reason to loose grade him.
Yeah.
That looks wicked in there.
He looks great, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I love finding a Twistoid.
Twistoid. We did have one, didn't we? It didn't hang around very long.
Straight away, yeah.
And together, they're very, very similar. And were you meant to have a battle with him? Is he the good guy and he's the bad guy?
I have no idea. I think so. But, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's not my thing. And what I would like to do is do an honourable mention for Scareglow.
Kosmischen Schlüssels. Vorsicht, Dämonen. Scareglow und Ninja. Aber Ninja flieht auf Scuba-Takt. Und was führt Scareglow im Schilde? Immer neue Abenteuer.
Yes.
Because Scareglow, despite being one of these later figures that was a bit sort of, he's absolutely brilliant. But I've sold both of mine the first week we were back open.
Yeah.
So both of our Scareglows have gone that were up here.
He'd have been in your top 5, wouldn't he?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I love Scareglow.
Yeah.
I think it's a great, great figure.
And it's great when you turn all the lights off at night. There he is.
And this is a good thing about 80s toys. At night, when you turn off all the lights in the shop, which is, it's a cool time anyway. The best thing to do is turn all the lights off but leave the cabinet lights on.
Yeah.
They have this sort of like, but then when you turn all the lights off, you've got various different glow-in-the-dark toys showing you around the room.
Guiding the way.
Yeah, so literally, when we used to turn the lights out in the back, you'd have lights, you'd see where you were when it was very dark, middle of winter. Yeah. You'd see where you were by the actual cabinets, because what was a glow in the cabinets?
I like getting a tan, but this is ridiculous.
I don't think there's one really bad, like genuinely no play value, a bit rubbish. There's nothing really I can think of in the He-Man line, really. But these are probably the closest you'd come. And Blast Attack, just because he's annoying, because he's always broke.
Yeah,
and it's plastic. A bit unpolitically correct. So yeah. So we're on to what the big ones now, aren't we?
The big number one.
By the power of Grayskull.
My number one.
Go for it, Gav.
He's always been my number one. His Manny Faces.
Who are you?
I'm Manny Faces with the power to change from man to robot to monster.
Oh, no.
He's great.
What makes you love him?
Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? No one knew. Even in the cartoon, no one quite knew.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. He's got his heroic face, but also scary face. Look at him. Bad guy, evil. And he's just cool. And also, not just two faces, many faces. Robot face. Mean robot. That is a good-looking robot face. You know,
he does share the legs with Roboto. You were right.
he does, yes. There we go.
I take that back.
There you go. He's got his bright orange gun.
Yeah.
I love how colourful the guns were in He-Man stuff. It's
well,
a weird, because normally it was like the 90s, everything went a bit silly.
Yeah,
But
He-Man step ahead.
Started out there. But he's great, and he had a unique body at this point. I think there may have been one other figure later on. I can't remember quite. Once again, research.
No, I think he's his own body. There's no one else like him.
No, he's not. No one else has got this spinning head deal.
Spinning head deal. There you go. That's the word for the
but he's,
for the video.
He's
spinning
brilliant.
head deal. So did you have him as a kid then? And
Oh yeah,
play
absolutely.
with yours a lot?
Hi, old friend. Hi.
He-Man, he's your friend?
Friend and ally. He's just kind of weird sometimes.
Because you could have him on the good guys, you could have him on the bad guys.
Ah, right, got you.
He could just go and, mellow out on the hill with his robot face. Because I think he's a...
Yeah, robots are known for being mellow.
Even though he's got angry face, I think, look at him, he's like, ooh. I'm a bit confused. But yeah, there we go. It's Manny faces.
Okay.
Simple as that.
I'm won over by number one, I've got to say.
Oh, good.
I didn't think, when I saw him there, I thought, where's he going to come in at? And I didn't think he was going to be your number one.
Yeah. And he's got a little mask on, a little red mask. Just notice that. Very cool. There's lots of cool stuff about him.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. My favourite, speaking of a lot going on, my number one is, however, this guy.
A good choice.
Mosquito. Again, I nearly need to dust the figures. One, he's got this sort of, head, mosquito head. Two, he's got like robot feet. Three, you've got the blood pump on the back. So you can see the blood moving in there. It's not real blood, kids, don't worry. But it's just, what is that? What's that made of?
Yeah. Because it stays
it's not
good.
water, it stays good. There's not many of those which are nailed.
No.
Because people always ask, does your pump still? And I've never had one that doesn't.
No, some kind of alien plasma, that is.
Yeah, so I don't know. Don't drink. If you do break one open, don't drink it, is our advice.
And really, just don't break one open.
Yeah, because they're lovely. And he's got a really cool gun as well, which is a bit breaky. Yes. So, or equally as things that are breaky annoy me, when you find them, you go, it's that gun that's always breaky.
Bright purple again.
Bright purple
gun.
Look at that. Yeah. Bright purple gun.
We've not mentioned the comics that came with them.
Yeah. And all of the comics were different. And if you look on some of the figures, in a different country you get one comic, then in a different country you get another comic. Yeah. So those Rotars are a good example, actually. They've got two different comics. So, but yeah, so the comics were really cool. And some of the comics now are really collectible. In fact, we bought some the other week.
With a big stack of them, yeah.
Yeah, where did we put them?
Who knows?
Again, memories, terrible. But yeah, so he's definitely my number one. I love Mosquito.
His head, I don't like his head, though.
What? Why?
Like, you had to look at him in the packet.
It's a
bad head.
No, but in
the body's great. I'm with you on the body, but the head.
No,
look at it.
He's brilliant.
Doesn't look like it belongs to this toy line.
No, but I love that about him. Again, Horde Trooper doesn't belong to Twilight. No, he's still in there.
That especially, it's like a He-Man body with some kind of Fisher-Price head.
And they've kind of gone like use your imagination. When you're a kid, you go, imagine them making it, going, we'll use all the parts we've got, and then we'll stick this head on, and that'll be really cool. They're going to stick this head on. It's like
stick this load of rubbish on.
Yeah, but I love his head. I think he's brilliant. I mean, look, he's just so cool. His eyes are massive. Look at his eyes. Look from above.
Oh, he's quite good from above, actually.
Yeah.
He's like a different character from above.
I think if I had a Scareglow in, he might have competed with him. But we had to kind of go with what we'd got. But yeah, I love Mosquito. And what's more, with all the He-Man figures, they gave sort of birth to all these sort of amazing knockoff figures.
Oh, loads of knockoffs.
And I think they're gaining in popularity so much now. These, Muscle Warriors, Galaxy Warriors, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and they've started reproducing them. What is it? What's the company?
There was those figures that we had in the other week that I forgot the name of.
But they've released loads of really, basically copies of the bootlegs.
Yeah.
And they're pricey, aren't they, now?
Yeah, a lot of those are getting very expensive. And then we've got the whole range that's been launched, as we have with the Star Wars line and with the Masters line.
All the retro
line. So you can collect. I mean, the quality is a bit different. I mean, I would say that.
But a lot of the new figures that they've released to look like the old figures, the more cartoon accurate.
Yeah.
Like the Merman is fantastic.
Yeah, there's loads of cool
Really
stuff.
looks like Merman.
And this is all down to these figures.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got this massive now industry around them. And it's all thanks to these guys, these designers that design these cool figures. I mean, for me, I think a mosquito, when I get one in, I'm visibly excited whenever I see a mosquito, because they're really, really cool figures. I love them. And I think there's so many of the He-Man range which I could get excited about. We could do a top 20 and it still wouldn't be enough. And they're bound to change. I'll change all mine. But I think I'll stick with Mosquito as the number one because I love him.
Cool.
Or Scareglow. Forgot one.
It'll be Scareglow. Next
think
time
it would?
round. When we get Scareglow in, it'll be Scareglow.
I don't think it will. I don't know. I love
But
Mosquito.
I've changed with my Orco.
Yeah, that's
already.
true. Orco's cool, man.
Yeah.
See, Orco nearly made it in my top 5. We could pull this apart all day.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? What do you think of our top 5? What would yours be? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like.
Subscribe. All the links are below.
That's it. I queued you up there. Did you notice that?
I did. Well done.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Smooth, wasn't it?
Why do I surround myself with fools?
I didn't quite latch onto that. I wasn't ready for professionalism.
No, there we go. Well, there we go. Nobody's ever accused us of being professional before, and I don't think we're going to change it. We'll see you next time, people.
Bye.